What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another podcast. I'm your host, Timon, and this is my podcast. I got a great guest on today, Dave from Third Horse Craft Brewing Supplies. Did I say that right?
Craft Beverage Supply.
Craft Beverage Supply.
It's a mouthful.
Do people just call you Third Horse? Is that typically what? That's what I've always said.
Yeah.
You know, let's pop these bad boys open. Dude, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So you run a business in Elkhart County. Well, is it Elkhart County? St. Joseph. Okay. Yeah, Texas might be a little worse because it's in Elkhart County. And you've been on. I've come into your shop multiple times, and I'm like, you know what? It's time to get you on the podcast. And so here we are. We're drinking beer.
Yeah.
Drinking mead. You brought in some mead from a local place, some cider.
Yeah.
And
shout out Perry Vine.
Yeah, Perry Vine. And yeah. So what? Yeah. First off, like, just introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, where you're from, and kind of what Third Horse is, and then we'll go from there.
My name's David. I started working at a homebrew shop in downtown Elkhart. It was called Quality Wine and Ale Supply. That's where I got my start. The owner was Mike Lisi. He was a good guy. Kept me around for longer than he should have. And then he decided to retire, and he moved away. And then I opened up Third Horse in Southgate Crossing. It's a big barn right off the bypass.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
Yeah. And it was the Waste Away group. Were the owners of the building, and one of the brothers of that group was Chris Himes, and he called me one day when I was out of a job, and he said, "Hey, do you want to come open this shop?" And I immediately said yes, and that's how it started. And then they have since sold the building to some new owners, and then during that time we bought the business from them. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So they opened it. It was their business at the start, and then you kind of transitioned it over to you. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. No. So when we first opened, that's kind of how it went. I kind of do all the same stuff. I mean, I was there. I was doing all of it.
Doing it.
Yeah.
And you'd kind of been doing that already.
They were kind of just behind the scenes, just investing in the money. Yeah. The important shit.
Yeah, exactly. The Waste Away, are they the ones that own the big trash mound, right down the road?
Yep.
Yeah, no way. Yeah. I heard, is that closing? I thought I heard something like that.
I don't know.
Maybe not. I was talking to some guy I went to a Christmas party, and he worked in waste management, which means he probably kills people. So I always think.
Concrete boots and such.
Yeah, exactly. He was telling me one of the big trash places is closing, and I thought maybe that was it. But it might be Earth Movers.
Doubt it.
I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. They're so bummed.
No, they do like Borden, and
yeah.
I mean, they're everywhere, like Elkhart.
South Bend.
Yeah.
Probably even Lower Michigan.
Yep.
All that spot, yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. So you got to connect with them. That's interesting that they bought that too. I knew like it was open for a while, and then it shut down, and they must have repurchased it, or who knows. But I know for a long time you were like the only place in there, or one of the only places in there.
Yeah, it was a little spooky in there.
Yeah.
A lot of echoes.
Did you just get on Heelys and like?
Oh, honestly, I could do whatever I want. I'd play some rap music that's probably not,
Wakaru separate.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it was a weird time once COVID happened.
Yeah.
The auction area that was there, they kind of stayed open, but it was kind of like a once a week thing.
Okay.
Where we were open,
every single day.
Almost, yeah. And so, yeah, it was a weird time, but it was kind of like silver lining. I mean, everybody, had to stay at home, and some people lost jobs, and but we kind of thrived during that.
I was gonna say, I feel like a lot of people, well, even bars were closed and stuff. So I know the liquor stores went bazonk like crazy during
Yeah.
that time. And I bet a lot of people are like, I'm going to either start brewing, or I've been brewing. I'm really going to dive into this.
Exactly.
I got the free time.
Exactly.
What else am I going to do other than drink?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, and then people on the fence too, like,
Yeah.
you know, I've been thinking about brewing, and now's the time.
Yeah.
You know, I've got the free time, and you know, the
go do
government just gave me some money, so it's like, come spend it here.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you
Yeah.
were open during that time too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We never had to close.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is one of the nice things about Elkhart County is they are a little, they're a little bit more like, hey, anyone can do whatever they want in some aspects. In some
Yeah.
aspects, they're like, yeah, who knows? I mean, I've heard both ways, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's really interesting. So, did a lot of people come in and just brand new brewers at that point?
Yeah, we made a lot of new customers, and yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
A lot of new customers, a lot of people just inquiring about brewing or making their own wine, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does this work? Is
Yeah.
a lot of your job just like knowledge, just explaining kind of what it is, or
yeah, probably.
or like, hey, just go watch this YouTube video. Or,
Yeah, sometimes people will come in and they'll be like, "Hey, this is David. He's the brewmaster." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not the brewmaster. I'm not anything. I'm just a guy who's read some stuff." And
yeah.
honestly, the most I've learned was from customers when I was working downtown.
Gotcha.
They
They come back and just tell you all about.
Yeah, I'd ask them questions, and I kind of learned on the fly, because when Mike threw me into running the front of the shop, I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I didn't know much. I just knew I liked drinking beer, and I like craft beer, but I didn't know shit about it. So
Yeah.
I kind of got thrown into the fire, but you know, it worked out.
Yeah. So, how long did you work for Mike then? That was a couple years, or
Probably like 5 or 6.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how'd that come about? You were just like applied and said, "Hey, I'd like to come try to figure this out." or-
One of my best friends, Brian Grupp, he had just got home from he'd go out to Alaska and do salmon fishing,
Oh wow.
commercial fishing,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
we moved in together. I grew up with him. He's like an older brother to me.
Yeah.
I was best friends with his younger brother, the same age as me, and we got an apartment together. And then we both needed jobs at the time. And one of our other friends, he used to make wine wrecks.
Oh, interesting.
So he was like, "Hey, there's this cool place." So we're just like, "All right, let's just go to this place and fill out an application." And we did. Then we got the interview, and then we just both started working there together. And
No way.
I never left.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what your first exposure then.
Yeah.
To the whole world.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before that. It was just, getting Sierra Nevada Pale Ale and
Yeah.
drinking Dead Guy.
Yeah.
And
the good stuff.
yeah.
I remember this was in college, and I went to a college where you weren't allowed to drink, so it was the best thing to do there was to drink, right?
Yeah.
When you're not allowed to. But that's right when,
Like cocaine in your bathroom.
right, cocaine, exactly. Yeah, that's great. Dude, there's so many pictures of people online in my bathroom mirror because of that sign. Like it's a well known.
It's like a selfie spot.
Yeah, it's a selfie spot. And you like tag it or something.
That's
so people
great.
could do it. What was it? It was I can't now. I'm blanking on the. It's in Hammond. It's a really well known
18th Street.
No, it's they do Alpha King. They do you know what I'm talking about? Who is
Three Floyds.
Three Floyds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Three Floyds came out. Yeah, I'm blanking now. They came out with what was their one beer? Gumball Head. And I loved Gumball Head at that time.
Yeah.
That was the first time I had like really good craft beer. It was $20 a 6-pack. It was 2014 was the year. You'd have to go to the liquor store, write your name on a list. They would only bring a couple packs per week, and the people on the list would get called, and you can go and pay $20 for it. Now you can get it anywhere, but it was like that. I mean, craft beer started to explode in like the early 2000s. I feel like maybe even earlier than that, but that's when I started seeing it pop up a lot more. And like their brewery production wasn't at the scale where the demand was. And so many people were like interested in it. So yeah, that was a
when
crazy
they can drive
time.
that price up too.
Yeah, they were making
Yeah, that and Zombie Dust.
Zombie Dust. Oh man, that's some good stuff too.
Oh yeah, that was when I don't know if it's Citra, but that's what Citra's about in every IPA now, and it's
Yeah, that was kind of exploding onto the scene a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend in Colorado I go visit, and when I would go, I would stop and buy 2 cases in Hammond at the actual brewery.
Yeah.
And then I would travel that out there, and they would pay me like, double or triple the price because they couldn't get it out there and they wanted that beer. It was great.
Yeah,
so.
like a Coors Banquet back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard stories.
Really? Because
I'm not that old, but
yeah. I've had that. It's okay.
Yeah,
yeah. That's funny. It is.
It's beer.
Yeah,
but you couldn't get it, so
Yeah, so you have or Yingling. I don't know if when Yingling was first coming on too. I knew people that would drive to specific places just to get Yingling
for sure.
And
it's all about what you can't get.
Right.
It's like,
exactly.
oh, I want that.
Yeah.
Just like beer at your college.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, man, I want that. Yeah. There's a lot of other stuff too that people were like, yeah, it made it better.
Yeah.
You could get it. But that's hilarious. So you started just because you knew craft beer, started working at the shop, and that's where I met you, was at that shop. I think it was 2015 is when I first started brewing, and we came to the shop, and I remember talking to you and the other owner the owner there. And yeah, we got a lot of info from you guys, just like kind of, and I think it was like, hey, watch some YouTube videos. Here's some stuff. This is some basics you need. You're going to need a carboy. You're going to need some of this basic stuff. And then, you suggested kits too to start out. So we bought some kits. We had grapes in our backyard, Concord grapes, not the grapes for wine, but we mashed them. We tried that whole process out and stuff. So yeah, it was really cool to
Concord grapes. That's a true Midwest wine. I like them.
Yeah,
I like that jammy. I know it's not like a wine connoisseurs type of thing, but
yeah, it wasn't too bad. Good. Yeah, it was still kind of fun. It was fun to try. It's very sugary too. That's the nice thing.
Yeah.
So then you switched over to, it's called Southgate, right? Is that the
building's name is Southgate Crossing.
Yeah, and then you bought it. When did you buy the business? Before 2020, or was that in 2020, or a little bit after?
No, it was after the pandemic.
Okay. No, it all starts to smush together.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
Yeah.
It all kind of runs together. It was probably early 22 or late 21, maybe. Yeah.
So you've had it for a little over a year now.
Yeah.
And you're kind of running it. Has it changed a little bit since then, or is it kind of still the same?
I mean, not to anyone else, just to me and my partner Becca.
Yeah.
It's changed for us greatly, but I mean, coming into the shop, it's nothing you'd know or notice, or we're just
it's still the same.
Yeah.
Still the same equipment. Yeah. Does Becca help out? I think I maybe I haven't met Becca. But when I was in last time, there was a lady helping behind the register.
Yep, that was her.
That was her?
Yep.
Yeah. She's super nice.
Yeah, she's sweet.
Yeah. The dogs that are in your shop. So when you walk into your shop, there's sometimes one, sometimes two, just big. I don't know, what are they, golden doodles or something?
They're golden doodles.
Yeah, just gorgeous.
Bean and Bert,
yeah. When did that start happening?
So that started with, it started back when I was working at Quality Wine and Ale. Okay. I used to bring in, I had a dog, a mini golden doodle named Tinker. She was about 19 pounds. She was the sweetest dog, and everybody loved her. Even so much so I could start bringing her to work, which, that wasn't a thing at Quality, but Mike kind of let it happen.
Yeah.
Because she was such a sweet girl. Yeah, exactly. And then she passed away a couple summers ago. In July, and that was one of the hardest things we've ever had to do. That really hurt. So I wasn't honestly ready for a dog, and Becca was on Facebook looking at dogs, and she found these people in Ohio. They weren't breeding dogs, but they happened to have a litter.
Yeah,
and so we went and got Bean, and I was like, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. And as soon as I got her in my arms, it was game over. And, fell in love. And, and then we got Bert, he's a brick shit house. They're built different. Bean's long and thin, and Bert's like the same weight, but he's a little shorter. He's a great dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. They're really sweet.
Yeah, they are.
It's cool.
They're lovey.
Yeah, and it's nice that you can take it to work.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that you can actually take your dog there?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when we first opened the shop, before we owned it, when Chris Himes did it. He takes his dogs everywhere in his truck.
Oh, that's cool.
So he knew Tinker from before, and he's like, you have to bring Tinker all the time. I was like, dude,
Okay.
sign me up. Yeah.
Yeah, say it
So
loud.
we got a little Tinker poster we got on Etsy for Tinker, and then we got one for Bean, and
Oh, that's cool.
we'll have to get one for Bert.
Yeah, I bet your customers love it too. Like,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're such good dogs. That's cool.
We have customers come in sometimes, and they bring their kids, and they're like, "Oh, the dogs are here." I'm like, "Oh shit, they're not here today."
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bummer. It's hard to bring them both.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had them today. We kind of try to bring them on Saturdays, but
that's a
I
good
think we'll get to a point where we can bring them both, and
Yeah.
it'll be good.
Is it? I know they're on leash. It's just probably training and letting them.
Yeah. Well, if we have just Bean there, she can be off leash.
Right. Yeah, I've seen her. She just goes all over
Yeah.
the place.
But if it's Bert, then they just,
Yeah.
they do
Getting
puppy shit.
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
That was cool. Yeah. That's hilarious. No, I know whenever I go in, I'm like, that's just a big piece of your guys' company is the
Yeah.
dogs, which I love. I love that.
We got the dog beers and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dog toys.
They
yeah.
go hand in hand. Where was I at? I think it was in Grand Rapids or maybe it was Atlanta. And they have a dog park that's a brewery. And so you take your dog, you let him go, and then you just sit there and you drink. I'm like, that's so cool.
Dude. We when we got Bean,
Yeah.
we went, like I said, we went to Ohio to get Bean. We stopped at I'm drawing a blank.
Is it on the way out there? Is it in Indiana or is
No, it's a Scottish brewery,
Oh, okay.
and they're huge.
Yeah,
They make a bunch of non-alcoholic stuff now.
that's okay. There's so many breweries. That's the other thing.
They have a whole dog hotel.
No way.
Dude, it was so cool. Thank God they were booked up because it was way too expensive, but we were gonna pay it because we had this little nugget of Bean. It was great.
That would have been awesome. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I love that. There is something to like the dogs and beers. You see it kind of a little.
Yeah.
There was
They
one.
had like 2 dog parks and a whole.
that's
Everything
so
was
cool.
dog friendly. It was great.
It should be like that. I went to. Have you ever been to Windmill Brewing in Dyer, Indiana?
I haven't.
Okay, their beers.
I've
are great.
enjoyed a lot of their stuff.
The beers are so solid. They have a cat, a resident cat, that just vibes out there. So that's pretty cool. Just the
That's cool.
animals in the
Oh, yeah.
the brewery. I love that.
Oh, it's like a bodega cat. you
yeah,
know?
exactly. Yeah, bodega cat just chilling. That's hilarious. It's cool. I mean, I guess if you're gonna do food and stuff, maybe that's a little different.
Yeah.
Right.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
I'm okay with a little hair.
I don't mind it either. Yeah, maybe the health department does. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love with the brewery when it's just serving beer. I think I've been to breweries where it's totally chill.
Yeah.
You know, to have animals and just be vibing and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah. Do you work with a lot of the breweries in our area, or is it more? Are you more focused in on like actually individual people brewing?
I'd say I'm friendly with a lot of them.
Yeah.
But typically they have wholesale accounts.
Gotcha.
So if anything, I just help out here and there.
If they need this thing,
Yeah,
in a
or,
pinch.
something exactly.
Yeah.
Something they didn't get in time, or
Yeah.
something's a little late. I'll run over some hops or some grain or some yeast nutrient, whatever it is. But yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of cool. So
Yeah.
you're friendly with. It's really nice to see breweries popping up in our area too. Like,
yeah, they keep popping up and they keep
thriving.
which being
is cool.
successful, which is great.
Yeah,
I love that there's I don't know. I like the mutual love.
Mhm.
Like I don't.
it's a culture.
Yeah, exactly. Like if one place is doing good, the other place is more likely to do good and
Yeah,
help each other out.
yeah. It's not
That
pulling
whole
from
thing.
each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's in it.
Yeah, beer drinkers are gonna drink anything.
Right,
I mean, not anything, but if they like your stuff, they're gonna go try the new thing, and
Yep.
they're gonna come back and
Yeah,
back and forth.
yeah, and compare. I like doing that too. Like I think I have my favorite brewery. But I go to other breweries too.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like
You got your home base.
Yeah, I got my home base, and there's quality beers. That's the other cool thing is there's some places I'm not gonna name names, and they're not in Elkhart County, but I went to a place and it was a brewery and it was the worst beer I've had.
Yeah.
Like this is just, they had said they had won awards or whatever, but and you're like, I know what good beer is because I'm tasting it at all these other breweries. Like you guys don't have good beer, you know.
Well, that's the thing. Consumers, they know more now because there's so many options.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not like they're cicerones or anything, but you know, they know what they like and they know what tastes good.
Right. They know quality. You can taste quality.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah. I love the fact that there's, well, I think that's like we were talking a little bit, it's really exploded. Craft brewing has exploded. And I mean, it's cool that you're in that market and you're seeing that. You have a finger on the pulse of everyone. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of the people in this area crafting, you know?
Yeah.
You kind of got that. But where else are they going? Because there isn't really another store. Is there one in South Bend?
No.
There used to be one in Goshen way back in the day. No longer around.
The closest one,
Kalamazoo, maybe?
I think Kalamazoo used to be Valpo also, but I think they've closed down. There were some in Fort Wayne that have closed down.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's
getting sparse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's scary to think about for me, but
yeah,
why are they all closing? God damn, I didn't open this.
Why did I buy this? No, I hope it keeps on going. I really enjoy one, going to the shop, picking your brain, but then also seeing all the equipment that's there. You just have options, and it's fun to play around. Like the fact that I've been getting into grain brewing, it's so much fun to play around with that.
Yeah,
and it opens up the world of what
it really does.
Yeah,
the opportunities are endless. You can tinker with about anything.
Yeah,
and grain's the base of your beer.
Yeah, so
you can really add different flavors and do a lot of different things with grain, and that's why it's fun to get into all grain from doing extract kits, is you can really kind of dial it in. And you get to kind of create the science experiment a little bit more. Yeah, for sure. Do you see that a lot? People start out with kits. Is that how most people start? Yeah, most of the time. Okay. Personally, I think that's a great way to start. Just kind of demystifies it, makes it a little easier. You kind of get some of the terminology.
They have a worksheet or a recipe that goes step by step of what you're doing.
It makes it easy to follow.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, the kits, and just for maybe someone who hasn't ever brewed before, but the kit is literally everything you need to brew a batch of beer, except for the equipment.
Yeah,
and it's all of the different things. The one difference between grain and a kit, the extract, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
and so they basically, it's like very liquidy, sugary. Malt. I forget what
they make a wort, and then they either
distill it down,
take a bunch of liquid out, to make it into
a syrup. It's like molasses.
Kind of. Or they do the same thing and just dry it out and make dry malt.
Yeah.
That's where you get all your sugars.
Right.
So you don't have to do a mash.
Right, which is the grain piece, where you literally take ground grain, or do you guys run it through a process, or you like crush it up, or I forget what it is.
Yeah, you mill it. Crush it. Mill it.
And then you brew it, or you boil it at. It's not even boil. It's a specific temperature, like 150 something or 160, depends on what the recipe is. That extracts all of those sugars out of the grain. And you turn that into.
You're taking the starches out of the grain and converting them into sugars. For the yeast to be able to easily eat. Yeah.
And then the yeast eats it and poops out alcohol.
Yeah.
And that's the whole experiment right there.
Party.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so crazy. It really is a huge science experiment,
it is.
in a really cool way. But yeah, so the kits are nice because it's literally everything you have, everything you need. It has all the ingredients.
Everything but water.
Everything but water and equipment. You'll need some of the equipment.
Yeah.
But equipment's pretty cheap too. It's not super hard to get in. I mean, you really only need a pot to boil, and I mean, it's nice to have other things. Yeah. But I mean, even just
other things will make it a little more simple, easy to do. But I mean, you can. That's one of the great things about home brewing is you can do it as simply or as complex as you want. I mean, you can just have a kettle and a bucket, or you can dive into water chemistry. You can really nerd out, which is cool. I mean.
It all affects it.
And I mean, honestly, you can do it the simple way, and you can still get great beer. And so it's cool because it's really up to you.
And how deep you want to get into it.
For sure.
And whatnot. That is a lot of fun. Yeah. So do you have a lot of new people come in and you just walk them through? Like, what if I was a new customer coming in? What would you suggest that I start out with? I'm literally just throwing questions at you off the fly. So it's,
So if you were to walk in, I'd ask you what you wanted to start doing, like beer or wine.
yeah.
I'd probably steer you towards an equipment kit.
Yep.
Because they're great, and for the price of those, you really get
All the things you need.
everything you need. Yeah.
Paddle and
Yep. And especially on the beer side, like if you wanna go from kits to all grain, all that stuff you got in that kit will still be useful.
Yeah.
When you go to all grain,
right.
Even if you get the kettle, that kettle will still be useful for heating sparge water or whatever it is. But all that will still be useful. So it's not like if you get that, then you're like, well, all this is waste now. Yeah.
No, it's literally the first step.
Yeah.
And it'll
for
build
sure.
on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All your fermenters are good to go, and you're all set up. You just honestly, you just need a bigger kettle.
Yeah.
And a heating source to heat up that much.
Right. It's tough to do on a stove.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's very tough. I have a turkey boiler. You probably have heard that before.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder to maintain temp.
They got that dancing flame.
Yeah, the dancing flame. I like the barbecue, and so I have this like 4-prong thermometer set that is all like, so I'll have it all in different spots. And, yeah. So it is a whole song and dance to get it to work, but. Yeah,
anyway, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
That's the thing, man. That's the cool thing about home brewing too. Is people get really MacGyver like.
Yeah.
As long as you make it work, and you're gonna make a beer that's drinkable.
Yeah.
You may not, win a gold medal in something, but your friends are gonna like it.
Yeah. And you'll like. The beer tastes better when you brew it too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, it's like I created this.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm my own harshest critic, so it's like
this is awful. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I sample it to a few people and they like it, and I'm like, well, all right, maybe this is pretty good.
Yeah. Did you start crafting or brewing your own beer back when you were at the previous location, or when did you start brewing?
Yeah, slowly.
Mm-hmm. You're around the equipment all the time.
Yeah, I started making kits sporadically.
Yeah.
It wasn't ever a consistent thing. Honestly, I just did a bunch of reading. All of my downtime, I'd read all the books that we had at the shop, and
that's cool.
That's kind of, I don't know how I learned most of it. Yeah. I need to start reading more books, but no, that was kind of it. We did a few homebrew classes.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we'd like to get back to doing that soon.
Yeah. Will you do that at that location, you think? Or?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple. We did a beer class or two. We did a couple of wine classes, a kombucha class.
Oh, nice.
And then all that kind of stopped with COVID. Just kind of halted everything.
Yeah, kind of put a pause on all that.
Yeah.
That is cool too. I was going to talk about that too. Kombucha. I mean, I make my own kombucha as well. Once you start understanding how fermentation works, it's really easy to apply to a lot of other areas.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, kombucha, kimchi, sauerkraut's even like a
hot sauce, mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all, it's cool because, you may not be into alcohol, but kombucha is basically alcohol.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean,
it's like non-alcoholic beer alcohol.
Right. Yeah. 1%.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or maybe, who knows. But do you have a lot of people come in for kombucha?
We do.
Yeah.
And like the cheese and like everything else you said, like kimchi, sauerkraut.
Yeah.
All that. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a wild hair up my ass a couple summers ago, and I planted about like 52 hot pepper plants in my backyard.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so every time I mowed the lawn, I'd have to move about 50 plants. And then I did a mustard. The hot sauces came out pretty good.
Yeah.
You get those good probiotics from the hot sauce in there, so they're a little more healthy. I did a mustard with some golden ghost peppers.
Oh, man.
It was so good.
I bet that was.
Yeah. The mustard's probably, I wish I had some for you right now.
Yeah. Oh, I love good mustard. You can hear my dog now. He's back.
Yeah.
He came right in. His name is Joe. He's like a little buddy. So
Little JoJo.
yeah, yeah. No, that's. Do you guys sell scobies and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got some organic scobies that we sell. I was giving them away for a while.
Yeah.
When I was making more kombucha.
They grow crazy.
Every time you make a batch, you get a new one. So it's super sustainable.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I just sold one the other day, and I told the lady, I was like, "You're never, unless you screw something up real bad, you're never gonna need to buy another one."
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, we haven't made some for a minute, so I think our scobies I hope they're doing okay. But yeah, I love kombucha. I love that stuff too. It's really good for you too.
Yeah,
it's so healthy. Did you grow up in this area?
Yeah, I grew up in Granger.
Oh yeah, okay.
I went to school in Penn.
Okay.
I graduated in 2005.
Nice. Yeah.
I went to a school in England.
No way.
Yeah, I got a rugby scholarship.
No way.
Yeah.
I played rugby in college.
For real?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Dude, that's crazy.
What position?
I was scrum.
Yeah.
Or prop. I was a prop.
Prop? Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I was in the scrum.
In the scrum, yeah.
I played 2 years, and I got hurt, and I was like, okay, I'm going to pause for a little bit.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah, it's a rough sport, but it's a lot of fun.
So you got a rugby scholarship and then went to England. They take it serious over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was really cool. Bad thing was I shattered my ankle water skiing that summer.
Oh no.
So I went there. I was trying to tell everybody that my ankle was broken, but they didn't
listen.
They didn't catch it at first. So I went to the doctor. They didn't catch it, and I was like, "It's broken."
Yeah.
And so I went back, and I went there with the broken ankle. Had to fly back home 2 different times for 2 different surgeries.
Oh no.
Yeah, because I couldn't get surgery there because universal health care, and the wait was like
7
years
long.
or something. Yeah. So yeah, it was but it was an awesome time.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful for it. Met a lot of great friends.
Yeah. Good experience to go cross culture.
A bunch of my best friends were South African,
No
New
way.
Zealand, Zimbabwe,
Yeah.
France, ton of Welsh people. We were so close to Welsh. It's like Michiana, like
Yeah.
Indiana, Michigan is like
Right.
England and
Mishawaka,
Welsh.
South
Yeah,
End, right,
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
you were right on the border there.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Were you there for 4 years or were you just there for a year?
just the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lost my scholarship because I wasn't able to perform.
Yeah.
But they invited me back, but it was crazy expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I take out 40 pounds out of the ATM.
Yeah. That's probably when it was like double. Right?
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Exactly. It'd
Which
be
is
good
what-
now. It'd be
right,
good
yeah.
now. But yeah, it was like $76 to $80 depending on.
Yeah, the day
was
or whatever.
crazy.
That is wild. Yeah, that's super expensive.
But it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I can't even imagine. Dude, I've been to Ireland. Traveled there but you're only there for like 10 days. You know,
Yeah.
that's different than like living in it,
Yeah.
experiencing it.
I didn't get to do a ton of traveling though.
Yeah.
I mean,
You probably had a broken ankle, right?
yeah, and we were doing school and all that.
Yeah.
But we did go to Amsterdam. That was
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've heard they've toned it down now. Like back then it was a little bit more wild, but they're like starting to tone things down. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
It's all hearsay. Who knows who says? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
we had a headmaster at our school. It was like Harry Potter.
No way.
Yeah, so we had to like petition. We're like, we're going on this rugby trip. We didn't play anything. We just sat at the bar and
Just, hung out.
got high.
Yeah, got high.
Almost got hit by trains. And,
No way. Oh,
yeah.
did they? Were they
Red light district?
They have
all that
mushrooms
jazz.
as well there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the truffles or whatever.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I don't know about
they-
any truffles.
Yeah.
That sounds like bullshit. I want mushrooms.
Yeah, the actual stuff. I heard that. You listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, and I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts.
That's where I heard it.
Yeah, Mark Norman.
Mark Norman. Yeah, it was Mark Norman. Yeah.
He's. I listen to
Tuesday with Stories.
Yes, I have a Patreon. I'm on the Patreon.
Yeah,
so I love it. Yeah, but it's they're great. My wife really enjoys that.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite podcast, but it's solid and they're hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I've got a few that I have to pick and choose and play in front of Becca.
Yeah,
I like this. Come on.
Yeah,
get on board.
She's like, no. Yeah, I have a couple that Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. I don't know if you ever listened to that one. My wife Allison does not like that at all. I love it. Yeah, I think it's so great. It's funny too to see. I'm totally shifting over the podcast, but I think you may enjoy this. But it's fun to see, or it's interesting to see these podcast hosts do their own, and then they go on bigger podcasts. Like when Joe List went on to Joe Rogan, it was the awkwardest experience ever. When he was with who was it? Louis C.K. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah.
But I watched that episode, and Joe List doesn't say anything the whole time. And then he comes back onto Tuesdays and Stories, and it's just like, I hate myself so much. It's like, it's great to like watch those dynamics. Or when Matt McCusker went on to Joe Rogan, and it got wild, and they're talking about like trans porn, all that.
And he's like, I knew I wasn't supposed to say this. Oh, I got nervous. Yeah,
I love that. So it's cool to like watch that. It's fun as a fan to watch that interaction.
For sure, you feel like you kind of know them.
Yeah,
and they also say that that's how the fans that creep them out feel. But
yeah, they're like, they know way too much about me. But then they're letting their whole life. I mean, I totally understand that. But that's wild. And then I knew you were a comedy fan when I saw you at the South Bend. What was that? The Burt Kreischer. What they call it? Tour.
I forget what it was called.
Something tour. Yeah, where they would go to all the stadiums all over.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. Yeah. I loved that.
Dude, Shane was the best.
Oh, he hands down.
He killed it.
He was the funniest. I was laughing so hard. And he was second to last too, which was like, it was so good. Bert was good, but he was not as good as Shane.
Oh, Bert's good. Just the energy he brings. He's just fun. But Shane was hilarious. We missed Big J Okerson, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was supposed to come, and
that's right.
There was like a flight something, or he missed a flight.
Yeah. Well, they did a good job of promoting it, but you didn't know who was going to be there.
No.
I was like, maybe Mark Norman will be there. Maybe, Joey Diaz will be there. I was like super excited for all these other. And I was so glad Shane came. And it makes sense. He loves Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes sense. So.
I didn't realize that until, after diving in a little deeper.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. For anyone who hasn't, I would suggest going and listen to Shane's comedy live in Austin or something his Austin stand-up that he just did like a year ago or 6 months ago.
It's so good.
So funny.
It's so good.
And then he was the stuff he was riffing on when we saw it was just like, I was dying so hard. The ladies in front of me are like, who is this guy? That's racist. It was like perfect. I mean,
right
behind her screaming like, go give us more. It was like, that was so good. Yeah. So, anyways, when I saw you, we started talking about it. I'm like, yeah, this guy knows.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the good podcast. What other podcasts do you listen to?
Oh, man.
It's just all comedy.
Yeah. I like listening to Kill Tony.
Yes. I've been getting into that, too.
Kill Tony's great.
It's, my buddy Lincoln, we used to do a podcast together. He's the one that told me about it. And so I started watching it, and sometimes they're so brutal, and sometimes it's the most awkward. So Kill Tony, for those who've never watched it, they bring on they pull a name from a bucket. 60 seconds, the guy comes on, or the comic guy, girl, whoever, doesn't matter. They come on, they do their bit, and then the panel of judges just roast them, basically.
Yeah, no, it's so good. You're so right. They just get annihilated. And they had a really good one the other day. There was this girl on, and she fucking crushed.
Okay.
She was so good. And like everybody, Red Band invited her to the secret show, the Thursday secret show. Yeah. One of the other guest comics, he invited her to he's like, because she was from Baltimore.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm doing a show in Baltimore.
Do you want to come?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And she's like, I'll pay for your plane ticket, and
No
I'll
way.
buy you a hotel. And
some people's their career start there in a way. Because if you come on and you crush it and they like it and it's the vibes right.
Yep.
Yeah, you
like Hans Kim.
Yeah. Brian. No, what's it? No, it's not.
No, William Montgomery.
The
Memphis Strangler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raisin bread. Oh gosh, it's so good. Or who's the
David Lucas?
Yeah, David Lucas.
Oh my
He's
god,
hilarious.
he is my favorite. When he's always in the middle of the show, and when him and Tony,
he's just like, Tony, you look like.
He's always going in on him for looking gay, and he's going on him for being overweight.
Yeah, it just goes back.
It's the best. Yeah.
There's some really good comedy, and it really is a great way to see like how stand-up comedy starts, and you see the whole spectrum.
Yeah,
like people who are just like, you're like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that is it could be the worst thing ever, but you can bounce back during the interview.
Yeah, it could be.
I couldn't imagine going up on that stage, man.
I don't
no, thank you.
Seconds. I've thought about it sometimes. I'm like, I can't. There's no way.
I've thought about it, but I mean, if you listen to it, you probably thought about it. Yeah. I mean, if you're a comedy
what
fan,
would be my 60 seconds?
Yeah.
I'll try to craft them. I'll run.
Well, I just pissed my pants right now.
Yeah. That's it. That's the 60 seconds.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah. So, Kill Tony. What else do you listen to?
Your Mom's House.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny Brown.
Okay. He's on their network, right?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to any of his stuff.
Dude, that marriage. So I've loved Danny Brown for years now, and then I've always been a Tom Segura fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, they had him on the podcast, and they're like, special announcement, he's having his own podcast. And I was like, dude, it's like my two worlds are marrying each other. It was perfect.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've heard about him, but I've not seen it. I'll have to check him out.
Well, first time I heard about Danny Brown, well, not heard about him, but heard him, was on Sirius XMU.
Okay.
The indie station, which I love.
Yeah.
That's the first time I heard of Run the Jewels also.
Oh, no way.
But it was Danny Brown and MF Doom on a Avalanche's track.
No way.
And I was like, what is this dude's voice? I didn't like it at first.
Yeah.
And then I just fell in love with it, like wholeheartedly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just went into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to it and see. Tim Dillon. Do you do any Tim Dillon?
Dude, I was just listening to it today.
Yeah. His the Patreon episode.
Yeah, he's going on a rant about Sam Smith and the devil.
It's like, just nuke us. Yeah. Just some countries just nuke us. You know, we just started in World War II to get he's right though. The funny thing he does so well, and I think all comics do this. They take the truth, but he's just like showing how dumb it is that people are getting mad about something that's so trivial.
And it made so much sense. Everything he was saying. It's like, well, just don't watch it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And if your kids are watching it and you're upset, then
be a better parent.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know. It was so good. It was so funny. Yeah. I loved some of his rants too, like some of his old rants where he's doing just advertising. He did one for, I forget what it was, but if you look up like Tim Dillon's best advertisement on YouTube, and it's like a 12-minute rant about who knows what, but he goes through the war in Syria. You know what I mean? He goes way off topic. It goes back like, this is gold. So
yeah, he's probably the best ranter there is.
He is. Yeah, he's good. He's really good. That's kind of that's where, Matt and Shane, the Tuesdays with Stories, and then Tim Dillon's kind of the three that
I really like. Chris DiStefano.
Oh yeah, I loved him when him and Yanni did. What's it?
History.
Yeah,
history.
Is it hardcore? No, it's not.
History Hyenas.
History Hyenas.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I've listened to a lot of that stuff. I loved it.
No, he's got a good one. Chrissy Chaos. It's like his singular one. Yeah. And then he's got one with Sal Vulcano.
Oh, nice.
It's called Hey Babe.
Hey Babe.
Yeah. Another person I really like is Andrew Santino.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
Whiskey Ginger, and then his bad friends with Bobby Lee.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those
great.
too. Yeah. Those are good. It's funny. He's like in acting and in he's in a lot of different pieces.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I mean, the first time I saw him, it was in Dave.
Oh yeah, with Lil Dicky.
Lil Dicky, yeah.
I've watched.
He's his friend and manager or something.
Yeah, classic. That is good. I love the Little Dicky. When he first came out, I was like, this guy's so good. Now I don't listen to him at all.
That's how it is with rap.
It's
hard. There's just so many new things, man.
I know.
Same thing with comedy.
There's so much content. There's so much content. That's awesome. Yeah, that's that mead right there. That mead's so solid.
Nice.
Yeah, it did. ASMR in that pot. So this guy's in South Bend. Did he come to you? Or we're switching topics a little bit, but what's it called? Prairie Vine? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
So Prairie Vine is in South Bend. Did he buy most of his stuff from you? Is that kind of how that started, or did you just know him?
It's kind of like the thing I was telling you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew you from before
Or after. Yeah.
But no, he started coming in. Him and his wife, Tavares and Kamika, and I think they were just making it for themselves.
Yeah.
And then they started making stuff, and they started going to like festivals and like different things like that, getting their name out there.
Yeah.
And
wide selection of taste testing and stuff too. Right?
Yeah. And then they opened up the business, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so cool. I love mead too. Like just the thought, I think I love fantasy growing up, right? And you just read about these people just drinking mead and signs and stuff. And so I haven't seen that on the scene. There's a lot of craft beers out there. Cider, more so now. I think cider's really starting to grow. It used to be only Angry Orchard. It was the only thing you could find, and even I'm seeing more
Commercially for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and now
it's gluten free.
That's true too.
For the most part,
right? And the rise of seltzers. Seltzers have just gone crazy in the past year or two or three. But yeah, I'd love to see more meat out there. And it's just kind of a callback to our roots in a way, right?
The oldest alcoholic beverage there is.
Really? Yeah. It's crazy too. It's all about alcohol is all about a sugar and a yeast interacting. So that's one of the things that as I've been getting into this, you look at the liquors that are out there. They're from a specific type of alcohol or a sugar source. Sugar cane is rum. You got your whiskeys and stuff that comes from grains. You got tequila,
corn and barley,
right? You got gin, which has come from juniper berries.
And all sorts of botanicals.
Vodka comes from potatoes, or who knows what.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
That's what they say. Right?
That's what they say, and it's just fascinating that And then for most of the time it was regional, and now it's gotten to this point where it's like everyone can mix, and you can get that sugar source. But I love that. It's really just from the sugar source that it comes from.
Yeah, that's so cool. One of my good friends, Andy, he did. I think he did like some missionary trips.
Oh, cool.
In Nigeria.
Okay. Is that Africa or is it South America?
Africa.
Yeah.
And he got there's a drink called Tej.
Oh.
It's a Nigerian. I hope I'm not getting the country wrong, but it's a mead from there, and it's they have this root they put in there to ferment it. It's called a geisha root.
Oh, no way!
And they sent it to him, so he's made a few batches, and it's really good shit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably so many ways people have been making alcohol. I mean, wine obviously comes from grapes, but there's so many ways that people have been making alcohol.
For sure.
And we're starting to uncover a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then mix it.
Like they just stumbled upon it and they're like, well, I don't know about this.
Yeah. I feel good.
Yeah. I think I'll drink some more of that.
Yeah. With wine, it's literally the grape skins are what hold the yeast. So like that wild yeast way back in the day when they first started doing wine, they just mashed it, let it sit, and that's when it started fermenting, I think. Yeah. From the grape skin. It's just like, it's crazy that it's just two things in nature vibing.
Yeah. And at its most basic level, it's just literally it's just the grapes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
doing their thing.
Yeah.
And now we drink it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so wild. Yeah. That's very cool.
Now there's connoisseurs and
right. Yeah.
What do they call a cicerone for wine?
Yeah. I don't know.
Drawing blanks today.
I know. That's okay. It's probably similar to that Scottish brewery in Ohio, right? Or something. Who knows? Yes. I can't think of it. I know that guy that comes to your table.
Brewdog.
Oh, yeah. Brewdog's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you
Yeah.
guys went. Oh, what
That's-
makes sense too.
yeah.
It's a dog area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny. Yeah, that's wild. Shoot, what was I gonna ask? Okay, all right, let's go back to go ahead.
Sommelier.
Sommelier. That's what it is. Yes,
Sorry.
it is. No, it's all coming back. It's the me that helped you
Yeah, I needed
function a little bit.
yeah.
Do you need something else? Are you good?
I'll take a beer.
Okay. What do you want?
Uh,
You want this one?
perfect.
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. Let's go back a little bit. So you're from Granger, which is great. I love that. My wife lived in Granger for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely
Backyard was Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to the brewery there, Bare Hands?
Oh yeah. I
They
love
have
Beverage.
good. They have good beer.
Yeah, they do.
Holy cow. Yeah, it is the backyard. I know this is just from talking to people in the brewery. A lot of people that go to the brewery or even work at the brewery, they'll go to the back, the fence at the end of the property line. They step over it. They're in Michigan. They smoke weed. Then they come back in and work at the because it's literally on the state
Yeah.
line, which is wild.
That was like my backyard growing up.
Really
That-
was the
I wasn't
So
smoking
close.
weed then.
yeah, but it was
I was running from dogs, but
yeah, it was that line right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's hilarious. So you grew up in Granger. You went to college, and then what'd you do after that? And is that kind of just when you were just working and living and just doing stuff, and then you got pulled into this kind of craft brew world?
yeah, I just had jobs here and there.
Yeah.
Did some roofing.
Yeah.
Worked at B-Dubs.
Nice.
Just
The run of the mill stuff. Yeah.
just menial jobs.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to see that you've actually like gone from working this to like now owning it.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
It's a little scary, but
Yeah, because all the risks on you.
yeah, exactly.
It really is, yeah. Have you seen increased people? I mean, you're probably from 2020. We kind of talked a little bit about that, but more people just coming back to the shop over and over, or is it
Yeah.
kind of steady, or do you see spikes? Is there a busy season, or
Oh, there's definitely busy seasons, like harvest season during the summer,
yeah,
late summer for wine.
because you get all that?
Yeah, some customers they kind of brew seasonally, so I won't see a familiar face
Until
until a certain time. Yeah,
Yeah.
like either they don't brew all summer and they brew all winter for the summer, or
Yeah.
vice versa. They'll brew all summer to have everything in the winter.
right,
It's usually dependent on
the person.
the person and their kids and their kids' schedules and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does take a little while to brew.
Yeah,
like
that's
brew
the-
day is like 5-6 hours for me.
So what I always say, man, the hardest time about brewing is it's not brewing, it's finding the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because you're waiting 90 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes for the grains to mash.
Yep.
And then all the time in between that, and then the brew time is another 90 minutes. Sometimes
Yeah.
where you're boiling, and then to get up to temp, all that stuff, and then to cool it
Then
down.
cool it down. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, well, even just getting your mash water up to temp
Yeah.
before you even start mashing.
Right. Yeah. it
That's
takes
usually the longest and the most boring because there's no good smells going on. And it's just water, you know?
checking the temp every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
See what's going on. Yeah, it is. It's a whole process. Yeah, you're right. If you don't have the time, it's tough. Have you seen? No, this is just a question. Have you seen people who run breweries now that started out as your customers?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
West Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. West Wind. I've got a few more examples, but they have less to do with me.
Right.
But just people that I know started out as home brewers.
Yeah.
Probably as most of them. But like Chip was a member of a home brew club that I'm associated with. Yakida.
Oh, very cool.
Can't think of his name right
That's
now.
okay.
But the guy who he's the owner and head brewer of Crooked U.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
he was the president of that same brew club.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, just different things like that. I mean, Fessers and
Okay.
Argus,
I've never been.
it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put that on my
Yeah,
list.
it sucks that it's so far away, but it's really good.
Yeah.
He's a member of that same brew club.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool too if you're part of that membership.
There's a few more.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you see people doing it, you're like, oh, I could.
Niles Brewing Company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Brandon.
No.
He's a member of MEGA. It's MEGA, Michiana Extract and Grain Association.
Very cool. And are you part of that? Or do you, like, you're just well associated with it because
Honestly, I don't know. Well, I'm definitely well associated. I don't know if I'm. You'd have to ask somebody
inside the organization. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm definitely well associated.
That's cool.
They're my buds.
Yeah. Well, especially if there's no stores nearby.
No.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense that they'd be linked up, at least connected.
Yeah. Kosciuszko Kettleheads.
Okay.
Goshen Homebrew Club.
Oh, very cool.
Marshall County Brew Club.
No way.
Yeah.
So they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Hoplore in Leesburg. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah.
Very solid place.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Wedgwood in Middlebury. I don't know if you've been there. That's great. Dude.
That's another example.
Oh.
So when I worked at Quality Wine and Ale, Chris Higgins from Wedgwood.
Yeah.
He was a customer of Mike's, and he'd bring him in like award-winning beer all the time that he'd won in like big homebrew competitions.
Yeah.
And he's like, this guy makes the best beer. And
he does.
Him and Cody.
Cody's so cool.
They're the nicest people.
Yeah.
And I went brewery hopping with him and one of my good friends. Yeah. It was a good time.
I bet. That's cool. I want to get Cody on the podcast sometime. Every time I'm there, I talk to him a little bit.
He'd be good.
He's good. He's given me some advice on. I mean, anytime I talk to someone who brews, I kind of pick their brain a little bit. Like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What would be a good idea here? He's giving me some really cool ideas.
Yeah.
He's just is always like, just keep brewing, man. Just keep brewing, and that's actually been really helpful.
Dude, it's like Charlie Papazian's "Relax, don't worry, have a home brew." I'm in that camp. Like, don't stress.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
I mean, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
You get beer at the end.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not a bad time.
Yeah, you can fix it after the fact. You can do it better next time. But just enjoy yourself.
You learn every time you do it. You learn something
for sure.
Like, okay, this is and you start like for me, and probably people are different, but you start like picking out things you enjoy, things you like, things you're like, I would do this differently. Maybe I need to do it different. Like for me, water source. That was a big thing for a while. Like, okay, what's a good water source? Why does this taste different than this one and this one and this one? And it's probably the water. And so it's been fun to kind of tinker with things, and you grow from that. And it's like a database just being stored, like built in my head from every experiment that I'm doing.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it's never ending.
Yeah, it really isn't. You see the cask over there. If someday I'm going to do a freaking 55 gallons and put it in a barrel of wine.
What's that barrel?
It used to be a bourbon barrel. Yeah. But now it's pretty rough. So I think I'm going to turn that into actually my podcast table, which I think would be cool. Like put a glass slab over it. That'd be nice. Or something. Yeah. So
you could rehydrate that sucker.
I probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put some water in there, let it sit for days, kind of rotisserie chicken it.
Yeah.
Put some bourbon in there.
Oh, yeah, and then let that just sit there and extract. Some of the stuff I've really enjoyed beer-wise is like stouts that have been like in a bourbon barrel, so you get that bourbon taste.
Yeah.
Or, there's some really good stuff that like coincides with that. Bought that in Michigan. I think it was under $100.
For real?
Yeah. This again was probably like 2017, like
okay.
Back in the day, before inflation or whatever. Yeah. Back when when it was $2 for 1 pound, right? Which is crazy. We just had a friend who's from the Netherlands come and visit, and she was like, "Yeah, it's like 90 cents to the U.S. dollar. Like 90 cents of U.S. will buy €1. It's like that at that point for her. It was under $1.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's not good. Sorry. Yeah, just wild. Okay, dude, I wanted to ask about this. So you've been in the Southgate for a minute. What's that been like seeing that kind of be revitalized? I mean, there's way more people there now and I saw like the festival that happened this last fall. There was a bunch of people. I wanted to go buy something. There's all these vendors outside, just selling their wares and things.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Not negatively.
Yeah.
But just in terms of traffic in the place,
yeah, it's interesting. No, you're fine. It's wild because there's been times I walk in there, and this was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, nothing.
Yeah.
And
No,
now
so-
you have a restaurant. Now you have all these antiques. The second level starting to get built into.
So when it was going before, they had a good thing going. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It was pretty busy. And then COVID happened, and that just really shut everything down.
Yeah.
But then the new owners bought the place, and they've really done a good job of revitalizing.
It's a cool old
whole
building.
place.
Or not old. It's a cool building. It's new.
It's actually kind of young. Yeah.
It's kind of new. Yeah, I'll take that back.
No, yeah.
It wasn't there in my lifetime. I remember what being built, but
Yeah, the beauty of the building is lost on me sometimes because basically live there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the new owners have done a really good job of just revitalizing the place. And I mean, not that it wasn't before, but just getting people back in there. Because after COVID happened, it was just shut down.
Ghost town.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
So just getting people back in there. They just had a Valentine's event.
Oh, really?
On Saturday. And every time they have an event, the place is really busy.
Really? So it's just getting busier and busier every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're bringing people back.
It was cool. Yeah. It's cool to see. It's nice to not be the only thing in there.
Yeah.
Hearing a fart when you echo.
Yeah. It's probably kind of cool to have that, but yeah, it is probably nice to have more life in there. There's the taco place. There's the
oh my God, the
fire tacos.
Yeah, dude.
I forget what it's called, but it's
Highway. I don't ever know if I'm saying it right. It's HAHUEY.
Highway.
And it's also Sodos. So I don't know if they have a food truck.
Do they really?
Yeah, and they go out to I think the Concord Mall parking lot all the time.
Oh yeah, that's a good spot.
Dude, but their food is so fire, and they're the sweetest people. They bring me he brings me food he makes for his family. He's like, I was just making this, and he's like, I wanted to give you some.
No,
I'm like, dude,
here's some beer.
Yeah. Right? So I know I gave him 3 growlers.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Good exchange.
Yeah, if you ever want to ferment some limes or something, come talk to
me,
right? Or whatever, who knows? It's cool to see that building come back to life. I remember, man, this was a while ago. This is probably even before you were there, but there was some underage party that had happened there. I don't know if you remember that.
I know of the story, yes.
Yeah. It was empty. I'm pretty sure the whole place was empty.
Yeah.
And then they rented it out for some graduation party or something, and it just got a little too wild. And the cops were called. And there's a whole police report and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you wanted to talk. I didn't mean to bring it up.
No, I know about it.
I'm sure everyone says something. Yeah. It's just crazy to see that. It was a really popping spot, and then it kind of died, and it's cool to see it coming back to life.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah. It's too pretty of a place to.
Yeah. It's a good
not
location.
Be doing something cool.
You're so close to 20. You're on 19. You're on major intersections. It's easy to get to, whether you're in South Bend or Goshen or even Warsaw. It's so easy to get to.
That's one of my favorite things about our location is that, just what you said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it's easy to get to.
Easy accessible.
Even if it's far, it's easy to get to. Yeah. I mean, it's just right there, right off the bypass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, you just swing right over and you're there.
Yeah, may take you a second, but
yeah,
you could turn on a good comedy podcast or listen to Tim and be good, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listen to I got some good podcasts out there. You can just tune right in, or Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon's funny too. So, the other thing I noticed too is you've really beefed up on your website. I feel like in the past couple of years. Is that something that you really kind of dove into, or?
I'd like to say me, yeah.
Yeah.
More Becca.
Yeah.
No, she's been awesome in that.
It's been helpful for me when I need to go and see if you have something.
Yeah.
You have, it's like an inventory, and it's kind of in
and
stuff.
I keep getting that feedback.
Yeah.
And, it means a lot. Because she's been working her ass off on it for a while.
Yeah.
And now we're equally working on it, but when you have a web store, it's just constant fixing.
Yeah.
But we're still working on it. It's new. It's She's got all the credit though.
Yeah. Is it? Do you have like? Is there e-commerce happening on that a little bit, or is it more?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we just went live before Christmas.
Okay. So it's real.
It's real. It's in infancy stage.
Yeah.
We're still just working on it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if people need to buy stuff and they aren't super close but still kind of close, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of people place orders and then come pick up sometimes, or?
We've had a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice for me.
Yeah.
It's nice for them. It's all ready.
Yeah.
But we still have a thing where, you can send me a text or email and
that's pretty easy.
I'll do the same thing. But no, it's nice because we're still working on it. So it's nice to like kind of exercise that.
Yeah. Flex it a little bit.
Yeah.
Seeing how this works. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. And it's been nice, like I said, just to be like, okay, do they have this? And sometimes I see it on there and I'm like, oh yeah, okay. And I'm personally would rather go see you in person, look at it, talk to you. That's how I am. But I know, we're living more and more in a digital world.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sure there's people that.
No, and it's nice because, for years we've had people, they come in, they're like, do you have a catalog?
Right.
I don't think they do catalogs anymore. So,
Yeah.
now I can say, we have a website.
Yeah.
We
have online.
So, yeah, exactly. So that's nice.
Yeah. It's cool. And I'll say this just for anyone who's never been in your store. You have so much at your store, both for wine, beer, cider, you have everything you can even think of. Like one of my recipes called for like orange flakes or something, and you had it. You have all the things you need
I try to
make your beer, and it's all inventory. It's all in stock. Most of it is there.
Yeah.
Even equipment wise, you've got tons of equipment. Every time I'm in there with my dad, we're always thinking like, okay, well, what's the next thing we can, we got to save up for this. We need to save up for that. We were looking
you ideas
at that fruit masher, that big red thing that's in the corner there, and we're like, maybe we'll hit this up at some point. Once we need to start growing fruit trees to be able to do this. But I do really you have so much there. You got great space, and it is really in a beautiful area.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I appreciate it. Yeah. It's great.
Do you have any future plans that you're like, I'd love to see it turn into this space? Are you cool with what's happening there, or what are you?
I'm cool with what's happening now. Yeah. I'd like to grow our online presence.
Yeah.
Just because
that's where it's at.
That's the world we live in. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're pretty slow to the game, but I think we can develop it. And that's exciting.
Did the store that was in Elkhart, did they have a pretty big online presence? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
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 So that was part of what you were doing back in the day, too.
Yeah. I wasn't anything on the website or do anything. I was just
packing the orders and stuff.
Exactly.
Film it. Right?
Filling orders, packing orders, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, his website was really successful.
Yeah.
He actually sold it to Great Fermentations.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Because you have the name, the traffic. Why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's still around. It's yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the hard part is establishing the name.
Yeah.
Getting people to understand who you are, where you're at, where to go. When you think brewing, think Third Horse.
Yeah.
That's what you need to start putting out there.
We just made some cool new shirts. Me and Becca we were on Canva making some shit up. And,
was there beer involved?
No,
okay.
Actually no. It was during the day, and we were trying to make a slogan for a shirt. We had a cool logo already, and I was like, "Where dreams come true," and then I was like, "Oh, where dreams become brews."
Yeah,
so that's our new slogan.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah, so
I love that.
I got to get you a shirt.
Yeah, I'd rock it.
We got 3 test run shirts.
Okay. So, yeah. XL.
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right.
That's awesome. What are you brewing right now?
Right now I've got hop forward lager going.
Okay.
One with a dry lager yeast. One with the Lutra Quake yeast, so it's a Norwegian farmhouse strain.
Oh, okay.
But it can handle a wide variety of temperatures, like up to 98 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Typically, it's like 70, low 70, below 70s.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah.
So
But
the fact it
these
can be-
Norwegian strains, they're
hardy
yeah.
yeast strains.
Yeah, and honestly, the higher you go in the temperature with these, the more, depending on which strain, the more tropical notes you'll get.
Really?
But this one I've used specifically, Lutra, it's I've used it a bunch, and it's so clean. I call it pseudo lager.
Okay.
So it's like a lager that's not actually lager.
Yeah.
But most
Lager
people
in
can't
name.
tell the difference.
It
'cause-
identifies as a lager.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So that's what you're brewing right now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really cool.
I just we got the stouts. They're still carbonating.
Yeah.
They're Southwest Chipotle pepper stout.
Oh, yeah. I
And
smelled
the
that last time.
maple smoked bacon stout.
Yeah, dude, it sounded like straight bacon. Yeah,
Pretty good.
So solid.
Yeah. The bacon flavor doesn't come through as much. It's
Okay.
more the maple.
Okay, which makes sense.
I think I'm more of a fan of the pepper.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't have thought that going in.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Yeah, that's so cool. Do you, when you brew, do you brew multiple batches at the, like, or are you doing one batch at a time?
No, usually 10 gallons.
Yeah, okay.
10 gallons all at once.
you split
and then
it
we
with-
split it 5 and 5.
Yeah.
Usually different yeast.
Okay, yeah, and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's that science experiment.
Yeah, that's seriously one of the most fun things about it. Yeah.
See what this yeast does compared
Yeah.
to this yeast.
Make a
Everything else-
5-gallon mead and split them down into 5 1-gallon batches and do different things to them,
That is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's awesome. What's your, I texted you a little bit, but you said you double IPAs is where that's your probably one of your favorite beers.
Yeah.
Does that just come from just drinking and you're like, man, this is where it's at? Or why do you like double IPAs?
I don't know, man. There's certain ones that just hit right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love milkshake IPAs, but I know that's probably not your thing because of the lactate. That's
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But, oh, my goodness. When I had, and that, again, that goes back to that Dyer Windmilling Brewing.
Yeah.
They've got some amazing, like, something juicy.
Memesicle.
Memesicle.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, my goodness. Like,
Yeah.
on another level.
No, those are good.
Hop Station in Mishawaka. I love going there because you can get all these different types of beers.
Hop Station's the jam, man.
Yeah, dude,
that's
Hop
the
Station-
place to be.
They've got
Yeah.
on their menu, but this is my favorite thing: pizza and not pizza. That's the only two options when it comes to food. Is pizza.
Dude, they got the tacos and the pizza. And,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's so good. Yeah.
I used to live in Mishawaka, so they were right down the street.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now I live in Elkhart. And they're a little further away, so yeah, it's like
My wife's family lives.
it's more like I miss it now.
Yeah, go every once in a while, but
Yeah.
my wife's family lives right down the road.
Yeah.
And so if we stay there, I've got a place to crash. That's a great place.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Well, I'm out of questions, man. I don't know. Is there anything you want to talk about as well? Anything you have like on top of mind?
I don't think so.
Yeah. For the listeners, go visit his shop. Where's it located? 19 and 20? Is that the best way?
Yeah, it's 27711 County Road 26.
Yeah.
Elkhart.
Yeah. You got that on top.
It's the giant red barn.
Yeah, you can't
Miss it.
Yeah. And you're on if you're looking at the barn on the
The lower west side of the
left.
building, yeah.
Lower west side. Yeah. Yeah, you can't miss it.
West side.
What's up? Where can people, you're on social media and stuff, where can people find you?
Yeah, Third Horse Craft Beverage Supply on Facebook, Instagram, and thirdhorsehomebrew.com.
thirdhorsehomebrew.com. Yeah. All right. I'll
Still
link
so
those.
new.
Yeah. I'll link those in the show notes. So
Okay.
if you want to go and look at them, they're all there. Yeah. What was your slogan?
Where dreams become brews.
Where dreams become brews. Yeah. Get into brewing for real and hit David up. He's got the stuff for you, bro. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me.
This wasn't
man.
too bad, was it?
No, this was fun.
Yeah.
I can do this again.
Yeah. Okay. We'll definitely. All right, folks. We'll catch you on the next podcast. Peace.